I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Sorry, I wanted to pull the audio down a little bit in here. Hope everybody's doing well. Speaking of audio, I do have an update. So it looks like if all goes well, tomorrow I'll be getting that Behringer mixer for the desk here, and my audio will be tremendously better. So I'm looking really forward to that. No more muddy voice. So I can't help it. I use something called Voice Meter Banana, and I don't have a real good voice, and so I do pump up the bass a little bit. I make my voice a little more rich, and anyway, with Voice Meter, when you do that, it kind of starts to make your voice sound muddy. So, however, I had one of these mixers before. It was a little bit of a better model, but I had one of these mixers before, and the audio is just absolutely superb. So I'm looking really forward to that. That way, I don't know. I can't stand bad audio. That's just me. And sorry for making you all suffer for so long. It's been a while since we had a good mixer on the desk. It's been years. So, as I said, I'm going to start putting more into this. I can't promise a grade A production value on any of it, but I'm going to try to give you some good video, some good audio, the basics. So, anyway, let's talk a little bit about news. Man, it has been all over the place since I've last talked to you. Pretty much, as I've been saying now for some time, every different area is escalating. Whether it be the war front with the situation that's unfolding with China and all of that, we got like 4 carrier groups, something like that over there. Not us. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Not just us, but. We've got a carrier group over there, and like the UK's got a carrier group over there. I want to say Japan does. I don't know who the other country is, if it's Australia or who. But there's another country yet over there. And, I'll tell you what, China's getting real uneasy about that. So we'll see what unfolds there. Also, not to forget, there was a submarine that apparently, a U.S. sub, that apparently had collided into something that has not been identified. The where it happened hasn't been really identified, other than the fact that it's over there. China is wanting to know. China's not real pleased. Not that I'm saying that we should be overly concerned with that. That's not my point. But that situation is starting to get a little hotter there. Iran looks to be really moving forward with a whole lot, including their weapons program. We'll see what unfolds there. Now, I mean, it's one thing, my opinion, that if a country wants to build up in defense of itself, okay. But from my understanding, they're kind of building at a mad rate. So that's not good. That's not good. North Korea, same situation, building at a mad rate. China themselves is from my understanding, building nuclear weapons as fast as they can get them pumped out. So, we've got all of this going on, and that's just one front. That's just the war front. We got economic fronts, we got tyranny fronts, I mean, you name it. So watching all of this unfold is definitely, it's like, wow, where do I begin? I guess war was a good place. Tyranny front. Oh my goodness. What was it that I shared a report out on today? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Hang on, I think I shared it on the Book of Face. No, not that one. Not that one. Entire school in Wyoming. I'll try that again. Entire school in Wyoming put on lockdown after one student refuses to wear a face mask and she gets arrested. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. School in Wyoming. They put him on lockdown. Apparently, there were several times that she had showed up to school without a face mask, and they took it to this level. I guess they considered it a threat and put the school on lockdown and arrested her. Actually, arrested her for not wearing a mask. And I want to say she was fined like $500 for that. So that's going on. That's to me, that's just absurd. So there's a lot more in that area. However, there's also a lot of pushback, a whole lot of pushback going on. And you're going to see that in the headlines. Gosh, what was the number? 1,800 something people are walking out. It might be airline. Oh no, 1,800. Now I remember. 1,800 flights were canceled by an airline because of I think they're calling it a sick out, is what they're calling it. But essentially, employees are just going to strike for I guess just the day, or the weekend or whatever. I don't know how long, to be honest. But that's a substantial amount of flights that have been canceled. Police departments, from my understanding, different ones from around the country are really voicing their what's the word? Objection. We'll use the word objection. And of course, many in the medical community, I think it's coming out that even more doctors are coming out and voicing their opinions. So this is good. This is good. I think we're going to continue to see this. However, mind you, I think we're also going to see the continuing of government clamping down, trying to get everybody to comply. You heard Biden himself. He wants 98%. That's where he's at now. He wants 98%. That's a few people. And it's quite a few more people than what currently has even one. I think this is going to get interesting. And then you couple that up with everything that's going on with the shortages already. And I had said this month is going to be a month to keep an eye out for the shortages to really be hitting your shelves. From my understanding, that's starting to happen already. So, man, I'll tell you, we're not in a good situation. There is also talk, a lot of talk, about us might not have the fuel, when I say that, meaning coal or what have you, to be able to supply enough energy to our country this winter. And it's not fear-mongering. It's not going off of old reports. This is new information. So I'm telling you, not a good situation. And then on the economic front, of course, about the jobs. I think it was 190 something or whatever. I can't remember the exact number, 1,000 jobs when they were expecting 500,000 jobs. So they were expecting over twice as many new jobs as what they got. And let's face it, those jobs that they got were probably entry level, no benefits, part-time. You know the drill. So, we have this continual slide down. How we are sustaining, I don't know. And I keep hearing folks talk. I heard it again today. I watched some television today. And I heard it today on the television, how they were explaining the supply crisis, right? And so they were saying essentially there was such a demand for products and not enough truck drivers to get them from the ports to the shelves. That's what they're saying. Now, I'm not going to say there's not a trucker shortage, because I know that there is. And I know there's going to continue to be an even larger shortage as these mandates come down the pike. It is what it is. And I understand that that is an issue. I think I saw somebody that has something to do with the railway. I saw him comment on Facebook about how the trains have just been packed. I mean, they are just sending as many trains as they can. But, you know, that's a real limited way of transport, you know. So, anyway, that was their claim. Now, I'm still asking the question, who's buying it? Now, they explained that. Well, they said they did. They claim that all of this stuff, all these goods that are being bought because of stimulus money. I don't know about you, but I'm unaware of any more stimulus money. Now, I know that there was money that was allocated to families. I get that, right? But it's not that much money to cause that much demand on the system. I don't see a whole lot of problems with shortages online. Not on most things. Now, of course, as you know, there's a big deal with Augustin Farms. That is a different story. However, you can go to, say, Amazon or even Walmart's website and get almost anything you desire. So it just seems to me like, as far as the shortages, it's largely at local retailers, which makes me wonder. Are they stepping us away from going to the store and shopping? Are they stepping us away from that and having us shop from home, more or less? I mean, that's what we do. We don't have delivery here. They don't deliver here, but they have pickup here. And so we just shop online. We take care of all the shopping online. Just got to pick it up. Makes it super easy. Now, I don't see an issue with having that option. However, I see big issue with just closing up all the stores and not having stores where people can go and look around and browse and, you know, look at items, hold items in their hand before they purchase. You know the drill. Not only that, but there's also a social level of shopping that we really don't. I mean, hey, I'm really not a fan of people having family reunions in the aisles of Walmart. Not a fan of that at all. However, I would rather have to make my presence known for 5 minutes so I can get past than know that stuff like that has been done away with. I'm just saying. We don't really do enough of that as it is, and I don't necessarily mean inconvenience other shoppers, but we don't sit as neighbors. Most people don't sit as neighbors out in lawn chairs in front of their houses or anything like that. Don't happen in most places anymore. It used to be a common thing. I mean, that was young in my young days, but it used to be a common thing. We need more of that. If we had more of that now, there'd be a lot less of what's going on with the government. I guarantee it, because we'd be a much more tight-knit nation. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother time. Let's see, I talked a bit about economy, you know, without even going into what's going on with the actual dollar, which I'm definitely not an economist. But it's not good. Or, I mean, you name it. You name it. About every front you can imagine. And of course, there's still. I'm glad there's a lot of people raising hell about this tax thing. I hope maybe something could be done with that, because that is ridiculous. And I honestly think that it's just a way to get connected to your account. That way they have access anytime they want. They have direct access anytime they want. And they can real easily pull up a transaction and say, oh, this is suspicious, freeze this account. And you have to prove otherwise before you can get your account unfrozen. And in the reality of the situation, you might have just said something they didn't like. You might not have did something they wanted you to do. I can also see how it can very, very easily tie into this whole social credit score system that apparently they are trying to install here in the United States as well. All of this goes in place with one another. The Real ID Act, all of it. I had said, I mean, it's been some time ago, probably 3 years, and I'm not exaggerating, that it was time that they were going to start putting together all of these pieces that I had been warning about for so many years. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're putting it all together. And you watch. I'm telling you. One thing that hasn't happened that I warned about, Viper, what they call Viper teams. It's spelled VIPR. Viper teams will probably lock down state borders, is what I'm thinking. And you're going to have to, pass a checkpoint to get from state to state. I'm betting it. And to travel by train, plane, automobile too, but train, plane, anything, public, bus, that's what I was thinking. You're probably going to have your real ID, a real ID compliant ID card, or passport. And that's the only way you're going to be able to get past one state border to another. I really do see that coming. We got a lot yet to come, but I think it's going to happen so quickly. And the one thing that I really am having a hard time kind of being able to fit in the mix, okay, because here's the deal. We're going down this road with the government. Period. We're going down this road. They're not going to give us a choice. We're going down this road, and we just need to accept that. The one factor that I really can't fit in the mix is global conflict with another nation at the same time. Now I can, don't get me wrong, but if that happens, let's say that there's a global let's say a major conflict with China that starts out. I think they are really going to ramp up their clampdown here. And let's say hypothetically that China was making all attempts, and maybe some successful, to attack our homeland. That would give them even more premise in their minds to clamp down. That's all I see in our future. Any way that we go, if we don't stop it, we are going direct to a totalitarian nightmare. That's just a fact. Just a fact. I don't have the answers, but I know not doing anything isn't it. This is nuts. This whole situation is nuts. Anyway, let me have a sip of coffee here. I hear you, you two. That's what I'm saying, right? It's in my opinion, it's going to run its course, and all we can do is be prepared to survive it. I mean, that's in my opinion, the best we can hope for. I mean, that's just the long and short of it. Let's see. Let me go ahead and we'll hop on over and we'll do some headlines. And, man, telling you, crazy, crazy times. I got all the headlines here from Friday that I'm going to do. For those that may be new around here, this is what I do on Sunday nights. I cover, because I don't do a show on Friday or Saturday, I cover all the headlines from Friday through what I have today. And that way, it's kind of a nice look back, because sometimes that's important to do, to see the progression of events of different things. And it's interesting, I'll tell you that. It is interesting. Hang on, I'm sharing something out about Prince Andrew. That way we can make sure to get it at the end. In a little bit of, well, maybe in a little bit of hot water. I don't know. Seems like cats like that seem to get away with an awful lot. All right. Let's see here. Okay, starting with Friday. French envoy says Australia was childish to keep nuclear sub-talks with U.S. secret ahead of recalled ambassador's return. Kid on the deck, U.S. Navy ship's Facebook page streams Age of Empires and apparent hacking incident. Sorry, butchered that one. NATO's expulsion of Russian diplomats makes de-escalating tensions even harder, the Kremlin warns, as U.S.-led bloc sends envoys home. I forgot to mention this, too. This situation is escalating as well. A Russian prison sexual abuse scandal. Guards in Saratov encouraged inmates to beat and extort each other, a former convict tells RT. Beijing Stock Exchange runs technical tests ahead of trading by New Year's End. Russia supplying additional gas to Europe using all available routes, says a Gazprom export. Rescuers at the scene after residential building collapses in Georgia's Batumi. Reports of people under rubble, including children. Again, this was Friday's news. A cold winter could send oil prices soaring past $100. And I have a feeling that we are going to see a significant energy spike, the cost of energy spike in this nation. And I think it's going to go all the way across the board. I think it's going to be natural gas, propane, electric. I think it's going to be energy, period. And I'm hoping it's just not too stupid. And I'll give you my opinion, and I could be wrong. Don't kill me if I am. But I think the lucky ones are actually probably going to be the electric. Believe it or not. We'll see. We'll see. I've just got that hunch that, well, natural gas especially, I've got that hunch it's just going to go through the roof. So we'll see. I don't know. France will reduce electricity supply to Jersey this winter, Paris warns, unless fishermen granted licenses for British waters. A long-serving editor of Russia's Novaya Gazeta, Muratov, yeah, I'm sure I got that real right, wins 2021 Nobel Peace Prize for efforts to safeguard freedom of expression. And yeah, that was pretty monumental. I just can't say those names. Let's see. Pornhub says traffic surged by millions of active users during the Facebook outage. I'm sure. Beijing warns Australia's provocative actions on Taiwan could be cataclysmic for bilateral ties after former PM visits island. Poland does not accept being treated as second class, PM says, after Warsaw rules its laws take superiority over Brussels. Let's see, at war since 1945, Japan's new PM reveals he won't sign peace treaty with Moscow until solution over Kurils dispute finally agreed. That was a long and a half. We're still on Friday's news, by the way. That was a long and a half, and I only got 1/4 of a lung, so, well, it feels that way. Beijing calls on U.S. to clarify details of nuclear power submarine collision in South China Sea, accusing it of hiding details. Yeah, I would say they're probably hiding a few details. Yeah, I'm kind of curious myself, but I bet we're probably not going to hear anything. China is actually saying that some of their concern is that, it could have damaged the nuclear reactor on the submarine. So, crowds of rescuers cheer as child is lifted from under concrete slab and rubble of collapsed Georgian apartment building. Huge explosion hits Shiite mosque in Afghan city of Kunduz, dozens killed. UK meat consumption falls by nearly a fifth in the last decade as scientists warn reduction must be faster to hit climate target. And cows are farting all over the place. It's horrible. It's mind-blowing. It really, truly is mind-blowing. EU wants to agree on mutual recognition of COVID-19 certificates with Russia, but Moscow is yet to apply, blocks ambassador claims. Hungary's Orban blames Brussels and its climate change policies for soaring EU gas prices. This was interesting. Huge explosion rips through Siberian gas processing center and sparks blaze on key export route to China amid growing fuel shortages. Do you really think what's the chances that was just a accident? I mean, I don't know. Global food prices reach record high in September amid harvest issues and rising demand for vegetable oils, sugar, and cereals. Insulate Britain causes chaos by blocking traffic on major UK roads, demands PM Johnson be tried for treason. Still on Friday, by the way. Should be, I think, getting close to Saturday. Brussels to use all powers to ensure its law reigns supreme over Poland after landmark Warsaw court ruling, says the EU chief. Metropolitan Police is worst in country at solving sexual and violent crimes, a new policing study finds. EU demands Greece immediately investigate reports of alleged illegal and violent migrant boat pushbacks. I guess it's illegal to push the boats back out of your area. Let's see. California. This is important. Pay attention. California makes it illegal to remove condom during sex without consent, becoming first U.S. state to enact anti-stealthing measure. So, if you're from California, or if you plan to visit California, Keep it wrapped. Ukrainian president rallies party to oust Speaker of Parliament. Zelensky continues to silence dissent and tighten grip on power. EU blames Russia for delay in bloc approving Moscow Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine, claiming it's Kremlin that's politicizing jabs. Europe needs to understand root causes of rising gas price phenomenon to avoid the energy crisis, says AEB. Armed police drag. This is crazy too. This is another incident. I talked earlier about the tyranny with that school student. This is another case here. Armed police drag passenger off Eurostar train after staff member accused of him wearing the wrong type of mask. Let's see. 100-year-old ex-Nazi camp guard accused of complicity in murdering thousands insists he knows nothing. Haven't we heard that before? I know nothing. I can't remember his name. It was Hogan's Heroes, though. Russia invites China for crunch talks with Taliban on Afghanistan's future after American troop withdrawal from war-torn state. A tourist offered opportunity to walk in Russian president's footsteps with new map of leaders' relaxation spots. I'll spit it out. Russia-focused American government-funded investigative outlet Bellingcat officially labeled foreign agent by Moscow. EU condemnation of Russia-Belarus integration plan is illegal meddling in action of sovereign countries, says Union State official. Another sip here. People's movement decreased by 70% during Sydney's lengthy lockdown, a new study shows. Wow, we're still on Friday's news. We have to be getting close to yesterday. Washington Post conspiracy theory quiz declares existence of deep state fake news contradicting its own reporting. Met Police named social welfare expert to head independent review of culture and standards after Everard murder. Sierra Leone formally ends inhumane death penalty. Country's president says move exercises the horrors of a cruel past. Swiss cops deploy water cannon and rubber bullets to break up 500-strong protest opposing COVID-19 health pass. That was Friday's news. Australian police confirm officers' use of force during arrest of Indigenous man who died after violent struggle. EU gives Lithuania millions to deal with influx of migrants entering from Belarus, but Vilnius says it needs a lot more. Vilnius, I guess. New York Mayor de Blasio hammered for scrapping gifted education programs in the name of equity. You get that? He's scrapping the programs for the gifted children, scrapping them, so that people can be more equal. U.S. and allies don't care about Navalny, want to use alleged poisoning to stigmatize Russia, Moscow's envoy to OPCW tells RT. U.S. adds just 194,000 jobs in September, falling far short of the predicted 500,000. Biden administration blames the Delta variant. I blame. Let's see. 2 killed in shooting at Maryland elderly housing facility. Suspect may have been a resident angry at the treatment of seniors. Yeah, I never did look into that anymore. Apparently dude was pissed. Let's see. Not again. Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp offline for second time in a week. I never did notice that outage. The second one. Trump lied about money-bleeding D.C. hotel while president. House committee finds, as usual, suspects call for his arrest. Super spreader of misinformation. New York Times corrects story that exaggerated child COVID-19 hospitalizations by over 90%. Really? You don't say. Iceland stops use of Moderna's COVID vaccine for all ages over heart inflammation concerns. You don't say. Son of former Afghan defense minister buys $20 million Beverly Hills mansion, media reveals. What kind of place you live in? Mali has evidence French forces train militant groups on its territory, country's prime minister says. Biden signs Havana Syndrome law. Berlin police report new cases blamed on mystery weapons scientists say doesn't exist. New York City man finds novel way to evade arrest and jumping into a tree and refusing to come down for days. Bosnian Serbs to withdraw consent for joint military, taxes, and courts citing violence by international overseer. Man, I don't remember this many damn headlines on Friday. Wow. Hang on. I guess there was. Wow. I'm telling you, it's hard to keep up. I knew there was a lot that went on since I've seen you. All right, alleged Texas school shooter parties at home after posting bail while victims remain hospitalized, including one in a coma. Now, I want to slow down here. I'm not taking any positions on any of this, but I just want to point out a couple things. The claim by this gentleman is that it was self-defense. Now, nothing gives him the right in a school, in my opinion, nothing gives him the right in a public school, to take a firearm into a public school and use that firearm. I've got an issue with that. I don't think that kids should take guns into school. I am very pro Second Amendment, but I don't see why that should be necessary. I do think that there do need to be people at the school, staff at the school that are armed, absolutely. But I don't think that the kids should be. My opinion. However, I saw the video. This kid, and I know one of the arguments is, well, this dude's 18 and the kid he fought with was 15. That doesn't matter. Man, that other kid was owning him. He was tearing him up. Again, not excusing what he did, but his claim is that he was in fear for his life. All I am saying is, from the video that I have seen, I could understand that fear. Because the other dude wasn't backing off at all. Again, not defending, not saying that that's what it was or anything. I'm just trying to be fair here. Here's the other part of that. The headline of the article talks about partying. Well, the moment that you say that, you're thinking that he's getting drunk, smoking weed, having a grand old time. No, we're talking more of a family gathering, family get-together thing. No alcohol. The quick little short clip that was showed him holding a child in his arms. It was just a family gathering. And again, that's the whole point. I'm not taking a side on this. I'm bringing all of the information to you. That I know anyway. So before I make any kind of, Not that I'm going to judge him. Either way, it's not my job. But, before I have a mental position on it, I definitely need to know a little bit more. So, very interesting situation. Again, by no means should he have had a firearm in the school to begin with, in my opinion. I don't know. It's not looking good for him, I can tell you that. Wisconsin cop who shot Jacob Blake will not face civil rights charges, DOJ says, citing lack of evidence for excessive force. U.S. will seek to facilitate evacuation push for inclusivity and first face-to-face talks with Taliban since pullout, says reports. CDC says WHO-approved vaccines okay. Oh, wait. Sorry, that last one, was yesterday, Sunday. Woohoo! We're there. Saturday. Sorry, we're there. If I can get days straight. Thank goodness. I know today wasn't too crazy. And it doesn't appear yesterday was too bad, so. Oh. Man, oh man, oh man. Y'all raising hell over there. Ah, man. I'm getting there. Alright, don't know if I said this one or not. I'll say it anyway. CDC says WHO-approved vaccines okay for foreign travelers entering U.S., says reports. I think I said it. China orders huge boost in coal output to avert severe power crunch. And like I say, from my understanding, there's a global crunch. Global. Nearly 90% of Bitcoin have been mined, and new coin issue unlikely after 2140, says analysts. Appeals court reinstates Texas abortion ban 2 days after federal judge blocked controversial law. China's Xi calls Taiwan's independence push serious hidden danger and promises peaceful reunification with self-governed island. Gazprom raises forecast for gas export prices by over 10% in 2021. Like I say, expect a spike here. Zelensky purge. Ukraine's latest internal battles show how hopes for the 2014 Maidan are fading amid fears of totalitarianism. Global debt will be nearly 3 times bigger than the global GDP by year's end, but there is no reason to panic, says S&P. Well, no, they've got a plan. They've got a plan. Lebanon in complete darkness after 2 power stations shut down. Blackout will continue for a few days. U.S. oil benchmark tops $80 per barrel for the first time in 7 years. Sorry, I don't know where the hell that came from. Underwater pipeline behind huge oil spill off California may have been damaged for a year and pummeled by anchors. Which that made me wonder. I guess like big ships probably have like GPS, right? That have like pipelines plotted out and stuff on their GPS. I'm assuming. I don't know how they would know where the where that stuff goes through there. Australian cop quits after bombshell interview and claims most colleagues suffering and don't want to enforce tough COVID-19 rules. India faces a power crisis as coal stocks decline, says Delhi chief minister. Actually, I saw a video earlier of a cop that was talking. It might be the same one. I think it was, actually. A majority of Russians didn't even know Navalny's smart voting election app existed, despite Western media focus and legal ban. Russia's latest prison torture scandal, like Guantanamo, shows the worst human rights violations happen out of sight, out of mind. Let's see. Green biomass power plant in Yorkshire burning renewable wood emits more CO2 than UK's coal, says a report. From my understanding, burning coal, is extremely clean at this point. They've got it, I mean, not to sound cliche, but down to a science. They literally, I mean, they can burn it so efficiently and so cleanly. It's incredible. Now, do I think that we need to, advance technology and come up with better ways? Absolutely. But do I think that we need to destroy the economy, put everybody in misery and everything else in the meantime while we wait for other technologies to catch up to be able to achieve that goal? It doesn't make any sense. And on top of it, it's not any cleaner. We've got some technologies that need to catch up before we can jump on this renewable bandwagon. I'm all for it. I am all for it. I am all for electric. As far as electric vehicles and stuff, yeah. Now, I don't think that we should put a ban on gasoline vehicles or anything like that. Not whatsoever. I believe in choice. I believe in freedom. But technology is an awesome, incredible thing. And, this stuff, this technology will get better and better over time. The battery technology is really the only thing that we're waiting on to catch up. Now, that's for vehicles and stuff like that. And you can right now get some fairly decent electric vehicles, whether it's dirt bikes, street bikes, motorcycles, cars, whatever. Fairly decent vehicles are out there now. So, and to be honest, they're just getting started because the companies are just now starting to kick it in high gear to start designing and building these vehicles. So, it's going to be interesting what we see. But when it comes to, the now, we can't transition, especially when it comes to the production of that energy. It's one thing to have vehicles that run on electric, but, they have to be charged somehow. And right now, we have really no better ways than the ways we've been doing it for so long. Coal, natural gas is also another one of our options. To be honest, myself personally, I'm not a fan of nuclear. I think that's more risk than is needed. And I wish they would stick, at least for the time being, to things like coal and natural gas until we can, again, get this renewable energy idea worked out a lot better than what we currently have it. Because the way it currently is, yeah, the system's going to fail, without a doubt, especially if they keep up with their agenda. Sorry, didn't mean to get on that rant. Czech PM edged out in narrow election after corruption claims in wake of Pandora Papers bolster opposition. Austria's Sebastian Kurz steps down as chancellor amid new corruption scandal. Taliban warns Biden administration against attempting to destabilize the new Afghan government. I'm kind of thinking, to be honest, that the Biden administration is kind of part of the new Afghan, but French minister says UK hasn't paid a penny towards stopping migrant crossings. Entire school in Wyoming put on lockdown after one student refuses to wear face mask and she gets arrested and fined over it. Over 50 million people suffered from major depressive disorder in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic, says a new global study. Still on yesterday's news, by the way. Ghani's ex-bodyguard claims he has a video proving exiled president left Kabul with bags stuffed with money, says a report. I have no doubt. All right, now we're down to last night. Let's see. And the article, the headlines changed on this because the headline was actually, I can't remember now, but it was talking about food shortages. I made a video on it. Let's see. UK's flag carrier to get rid of ladies and gentlemen greeting for the sake of diversity. So their flag carrier airline, is getting rid of ladies and gentlemen because it's not diverse. Let's see. India wants Russia to be major importer of Darjeeling tea like it was back in the USSR. California's Newsom faces criticism after admitting his 12-year-old daughter is not jabbed amid his own push for vaccine mandate for kids. Surprise, surprise, huh? 16 killed as light plane. Oh, by the way, we are on today's news. I'm sorry. 16 killed as light plane carrying skydivers crashes in Russian town of Minsk. 6 survivors have been hospitalized. Russia to hike grain export duty to support domestic producers. A massive blast in Yemen's Aden leads to casualties, but governors targeted survived, says reports. Czech President Milos Zeman rushed to the hospital by ambulance and placed in intensive care right after meeting with PM Babis. Trump blasts Biden for compromising U.S. energy security as Washington turns to Russia and OPEC for more oil. 1 killed, 14 injured after hellish shootout in bar in St. Paul, Minnesota. As Turkey turns away from Biden and towards Putin, the U.S.-led NATO military bloc is on the rocks due to American ambitions in Syria. And see, there's a whole shakeup going on there, too. Shelves stripped bare across the UK as Brits rush to panic buy ahead of Christmas. And by the way, so many stores, even Amazon, right? Amazon's starting their Black Friday stuff like now. Target is. Earlier, Jen said that she kept getting notifications on her phone from her Walmart app that was telling her a bunch of deals for Walmart. And I think there's some other stores since that has said they're starting their sales now too. So essentially, Black Friday has started already. Now, to me, that is mind-blowing because what that tells me is 2 things. Right? Number 1, that they don't think they're going to have the supply. And number 2, they're not sure people's going to have the money. Hang on, folks. It's not looking good. Cost of food in the world rising at its fastest pace in 40 years, says a study. California mandates gender-neutral aisles in toy stores. So now toy stores have to have gender-neutral aisles. French teenager arrested for trying to enter hospital with President Emmanuel Macron's vaccine passport, says the media. With Merck charging U.S. government an outrageous $700 for $17 COVID pills, MSF officials tell RT that the world needs cheap generics. The world needs to get rid of some pharma companies. U.S. Navy nuclear engineer and wife arrested for trying to sell submarine secrets to a foreign power. Washington and Moscow dropped some tit-for-tat sanctions to get Victoria F. the EU Nuland into Russia for talks. I'm just reading the headline. Southwest Airlines cancels over 1,800 flights in 2 days amid rumors of employees sick out due to COVID-19 vaccine mandate. London police to take no further action on sex abuse allegations against Prince Andrew after review. Must be nice, huh? Insanity is what it is. What can you do? I don't know what to do. Open your windows and scream, I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. Hey, it was a pretty good bit on the TV, wasn't it? Why not? Why not? Worth a shot, right? Worth a shot. Anyway, that's going to wrap up our Sunday. I am going to get out of here and relax. And God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll do it again. I hope to see you here. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.